We are going to attempt to produce a runtime exception in this environment. If I take a look at my lobster code, I can see, actually maybe let's just play it for a second and watch what happens when the lobsters eat a crab. We have the crab disappears and then we have this sound, okay? So in my lobster class code, I can see that occurring here where it says I'm going to look for a crab. If I'm touching a crab, I'm going to remove it, so thus the lobster, and I'm in my lobster class, so it's the lobster that's looking for the crab. And then I'm going to play this ow sound. So the code executes correctly. But let's say that I don't have access to the correct file, and let's say I am trying to access ouch. So I'm trying to access a file that does not exist is what's going to happen here. And if I go back and try to run my code, it will recompile. I've got the same scenario, but when I click run now and a crab gets eaten by the lobster, I get this other window that pops up. This is a terminal window, and so an exception has occurred. And if I try to look at the error message here, it says illegal argument exception could not open the sound file. So when an exception occurs, the whole thing just kind of crashes and burns, and you get this terminal window in the GreenFoot environment. In other environments, it would look a little bit different, but then that gives you an idea that, well, something's wrong. It does give you a hint for where to look. It says look in the lobster class. That's lobster class because it's capital L. Look in the method, look for crab, and look at line 60. So if I went back to my code in that lobster class, I can't tell what the line numbers are, but I can turn line numbers on. Under tools somewhere here, there's a way to turn on line numbers. Options, preferences maybe? And so if I turn my line numbers on, here they are, display line numbers, that's very useful. And I go back and I look at line 60, that's this line, then I can recognize, oh, I misspelled that, or I moved the file and I have a different one that I'm going to use. So now I'm going to recompile. I can go over here and I can close my terminal window, and I should be able to play the game, and it should work the way that it is supposed to, and it does.